your heart. Take a deep inhalation. Bring the arms alongside the ears.
You today from beautiful sunny Sanur, Bali.
Hi there, my name is Jessica Dinan and I would like to invite you to join me today in an accessible yoga class. So if you maybe have a bit of trouble getting up and down from a yoga mat, then this is the right class for you. We'll be doing the majority of our poses today from a chair, and then we'll have a few standing poses near the end. Also, if you're new to yoga, or if you're just not quite sure what your ability level is, this is a great class to start with. So I always like to begin each yoga class with a little bit of centering. So just coming to sit comfortably in your chair, but just taking care that you're sitting upright. So you're not leaning your back against your seat back, you're not slouching, your shoulders aren't rounding forward. See if you can stack your ears on top of your shoulders and your shoulders on top of your hips. Just finding that space where maybe you feel the tiniest bit of engagement in the muscles just below your belly button. Make sure your feet are flat on the floor, and you can rest your hands softly on your lap, or even sometimes I like to stack my hands over my heart for doing a little bit of centering. So you're welcome to try that too. And then just softly closing down the eyes, softening your facial muscles and your jaws, and just inviting a nice deep breath in through the nose. Maybe letting it out through the mouth with a sigh. We'll do that a few more times. Deep breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And one more time. Very good. And then just softly releasing those hands back down to your lap. If you had them over your heart, gently blinking open your eyes. And we'll come through a little bit of a warm-up so that we're ready for our yoga poses today. So first off, I like to start at the top and work my way down for my warm-up. So we're going to start by just inhaling, gently lifting the chin up towards the ceiling. And then on your exhalation, gently and slowly lowering the chin down towards the chest. And we'll just do that one more time. Inhaling, gently lifting the chin and the face up towards the ceiling, and exhaling to softly lower the chin towards the chest. And just inhaling the head back up to center. From here, on your exhalation, we're going to look out over the right shoulder. Inhale back to center, and exhale, gently looking out over the left shoulder. Inhale back to center. One more time each side. Exhaling to the right. I'm going to the left. You'll probably notice I'm doing the opposite of what I'm telling you. I'm mirroring. And then inhaling back to center. Exhaling over the left. And inhale back to center. Hopefully your neck's feeling nice and loose now. Inhale, and we'll just roll the shoulders a few times forwards and a few times back. Or maybe stretch the arms out at about shoulder height on either side of you. And I like to call this one Egyptian arms. Just do a little bit of rotating of the arms, the wrists, the elbows. Hopefully you don't get walk like an Egyptian stuck in your head. And then just bringing the hands back to your knees. And from here, we'll maybe just kind of move the spine around. Imagine that you're like a limp noodle of spaghetti and someone is shaking you around. So just wiggling your spine, notice how it feels. there's any areas that are maybe feeling a little tender, a little tight, and just be mindful of those areas as we move through our practice today. Always be gentle, be kind with yourself. We never want to cause any pain in our yoga practice. All right, and then from here, you can hold on to just lightly underneath the seat back and maybe lean back a little bit to lift up the legs. So in doing so, you're getting a little bit of engagement in the core because you're not leaning against your seat back. And you're also working the leg muscles a little bit. And then from here, we'll just maybe make some circles with the ankles in one direction and the other. And maybe point and flex the toes a few times just to warm up those ankles and the feet. And you can even, if you're not wearing socks, you might be wearing socks, but if you're not, you can even see how wide you can spread your toes. See if you can make your feet look like monkey feet. And spread those toes super wide. That helps with balance. And just give them a little wiggle. And then you can release them back down to the floor. All right, so from here, we're going to inhale our left arm alongside the ear. Maybe if you struggle at all with balance, if you're maybe just feeling a little uncertain in the chair, you can always use the other hand to just lightly hold on to the bottom of the seat. And then on your exhalation, we're just gonna lean over towards the right. So we're getting that nice side stretch through the left side body there. And just holding there for a breath, maybe two. Notice how it feels. And then inhaling to come back up, exhaling to release that arm down. And we'll take the other one up now. So we take the right arm up, maybe again holding underneath the seat with the left hand, just so you feel nice and secure and stable in your seat. And then exhaling, just to gently lean over towards the left. Only come as far over as you feel comfortable and safe to do. And just breathing here and perhaps noticing if there's any subtle differences in the stretch between the two sides of your body, between the two rib cages, or two sides of the rib cage, I should say. And then inhaling to come up, exhaling to release that hand down. And then we'll come through, just to finish off our warm-up, we'll come through a sun salutation. So I'm gonna go slow with this one. On your exhalation, we're gonna bring the hands together in front of our hearts in prayer, our namaste position. Inhaling to bring the arms alongside the ears. Exhaling to release the hands to your knees or to the tops of the legs. And then we inhale, we lean the heart forward and the chin forward and bring the elbows back to hug the sides. And then as we exhale, we're gonna round the back and tuck the chin towards the chest. Inhale to roll back up to neutral seat. And as we exhale, we run the hands down the legs and come into a forward fold. And if you're feeling at all unstable, folding forward, you can always use one hand again to hold on to the seat back, or the underside of the seat. And then inhaling to come up, exhaling hands to heart. So that's one full round of sun salutation. So we'll just do one today. And then for our next pose, I'd like to invite you to take your feet a little bit wider, maybe shimmy your sit bones a little further towards the edge of the seat if you feel comfortable to. So we're taking our feet into a wider stance. We're preparing ourselves for warrior two. So this is traditionally a standing pose, but we have modified it to make it a seated pose. So we're going to keep the right knee bent, stretch the left leg out as straight as it'll go. And you might have to contend with the corner of your chair, kind of jabbing underneath your legs. So just be mindful of that, be gentle. And then bringing the hands back to our prayer position in front of our hearts. On our exhalation, we're gonna extend our arms out at shoulder height on either side of us, palms facing down. We're gonna squeeze our shoulder blades together on the back, and then we're gonna gaze out over our right fingertips. Spread your fingers wide here. Really feel the engagement of your hands and your arms in this pose. So they're not just lying there limply. Breathing here, holding here. A couple of breaths. And then on your exhalation, you can release your hands down to the legs. We're gonna bend that straight knee again, so that both knees are bent. And we're gonna bring our either our right forearm down to the top of our right thigh, or maybe you just have the hand resting there and a little bend in the elbow if the forearm down to the thigh is not available to you. And then inhaling our left arm alongside the ear. So this is extended side angle. We're getting another side stretch here. I love side stretching, it's my favorite. My favorite part of yoga. And then exhaling to softly release that hand down, come back up to center. So now we'll do that sequence again on the opposite side. So first we do our warrior two, straightening out the right knee, keeping the left knee bent, hands together in front of your heart. And on your exhalation, we're going to extend the arms out shoulder height on either side of us, fingers spread wide, shoulder blades kind of squeezed together as much as you can on your back. And then on your exhalation, just turning the head to look out over your left fingertips, holding here for a breath or two. And then exhaling, releasing those hands back to the tops of the legs, bringing the head back to center, bringing the bend back into your right knee. And then again, so we can either have the left hand on top of the left leg with a little bend in the elbow, or maybe the forearm comes right down to the top of that leg. And then inhaling, windmilling your other arm alongside your ear for extended side angle on the opposite side. And again, just notice how each pose feels, particularly when we have poses where we're doing them on one side and then on the other side of our body. Quite often you can have different sensations there, and that helps to build body awareness. So observing and acknowledging those differences can be really helpful off of your mat or off of your yoga chair and out in the real world. Exhaling to release that, coming back up to seat. And we'll just walk our feet together. And now we're gonna come into the standing portion of our class. So getting up from your chair and just moving to the side. And actually we'll come, you can do this from the side or you can do it from behind your chair, depending on how you feel safest. So we're gonna come into a hamstring stretch. So maybe holding on to your seat, and we're just going to inhale one leg up onto the seat so that the heel is just resting on the seat. And you can stay upright in this pose, or if you're feeling maybe like you're not feeling a lot of sensation along the back of the leg, a lot of stretch, then maybe just leaning the upper body further forward towards that leg. That will really intensify the stretch. So only come as far forward as feels comfortable to you. Don't come too far that you feel like the muscles along the back of your legs might snap. That's no good. And then inhaling to come up, we'll release that foot down and bring the other one up. Everything we do on one side, we must also do on the other. Either standing upright, maybe folding a little bit over that leg if it feels okay. And you can have your other hand on top of your leg as I do, or maybe at your hip to help with balance. Inhaling to come up, exhaling to release that leg. Perfect. And then for our next pose, we're going to come into tree. So again, you can use your seat. If you're just having one hand on the chair isn't quite working for you, maybe you have quite a lot of trouble with balance, you're welcome to come right behind the seat as well and use both hands, or even come next to a wall and place one hand on the wall and maybe position your seat on the other side so you have something to brace yourself on both sides. So we're going to come into just a gentle balancing pose, tree pose, which I'm sure you've seen before. It's probably the most popularly photographed yoga pose out there. So we're going to start first by just gently turning our left knee out to the side, and maybe bringing our right hand onto our hip, or maybe onto that wall if you prefer. So we're just turning that left knee out, coming onto the ball of our left foot, and maybe just softly resting the left heel against the ankle of your standing leg. And you're welcome to stay there. If that feels like a challenge for your balance today, stay here. If you want to take it a little bit further, perhaps bringing the sole of your foot to the inside edge of your calf muscle. Just careful not to whack your knee on your chair. Be gentle, be kind. And just holding here. And just being careful and taking care not to press your foot directly onto your knee joint. So you want it either above or below the knee joint. And the calf is quite nice. And then when you're ready to, just softly releasing that, turning the knee in, releasing the foot, and we'll do the same thing other side. So now we're going to come onto the ball of our right foot, maybe gently resting that right heel against the standing leg. And again, you can stay there. You don't have to do the same thing both sides. So if your balance is a little bit more wonky on this side than the other, you're welcome to stay here. If you want to take it a bit further, you can bring the sole of your foot to the inside edge of your calf muscle. Again, just being mindful of where your knee is, not pressing up against that knee joint. And then when you're ready to, exhaling to release that knee, turn it in and release the foot down. Perfect. And so our next pose we're going to come into is called chair pose, but we're not going to do it from the chair. We're going to do it standing. You can use your chair again as balance if you want to, having one hand on the chair the whole time. Or as I said, you can even come behind the chair if you prefer. And then when you're ready to, we're going to inhale our other arm alongside the ear if you're only holding on with one hand. If you're not holding on, or if you're holding on with both hands, I should say, then don't worry about the arm portion. On your exhalation, we're gonna bend the knees, just like we're sitting in an invisible chair behind us. So you'll probably feel your leg muscles kind of fire up. They'll get nice and warm. This is a good one to build strength in the lower half of our body. And then when you're ready to, inhaling to come up, exhaling to release the arm if you had lifted the arm, and then just releasing the hand. Maybe give the arms and the legs a little shake out. And our last pose for today is going to be a downward facing dog using the chair as an assist. So this is a really nice forward fold, stretch out for the lower back region. And you can come behind your chair. I'm just gonna turn my chair to the side so you can see. And so just come to stand behind your chair, both hands on the chair. And then as you exhale, you're gonna start to walk the feet away from the chair, keeping the arms nice and straight. So you almost start to form like an upside down L shape. And then you can just let your head and neck be soft here. Let the arms come to either sides of the ears. Holding here for a breath. Also a really good stretch for the shoulders and the upper body using the chair. And then as you inhale, just again taking little steps back towards your chair, coming up nice and slowly. And that's our downward facing dog. And then I'm just gonna come back to sit in my chair. You're welcome to do so too. And I have one more little exercise for you before we come for relaxation, which is the best part of yoga. So we're just pressing our hands back together in front of our heart in our prayer position or namaste. And if you have glasses, if you're wearing glasses today, just softly removing those and setting them off to the side for the moment, and then bringing your hands into that prayer position. And then from here, we're going to rub our hands vigorously, really warming them up. If you suffer from cold hands, this feels really nice. Make them nice and warm and toasty. And then once they're feeling nice and warm, you can just gently cup them over your eyes. Softly close the eyelids and just let that heat melt into your facial muscles. Maybe we'll do that one more time just for good measure. So bring your hands back together in front of your heart, rub them vigorously, make them nice and toasty again, and then just gently cup them over your eyes. And And when you're ready to, once the heat starts to dissipate from the hands, you can just softly release those back down and ready yourself for final relaxation or for Shavasana. So if you are able to get down to a mat, you're welcome to come down to lying on your back on your mat, or maybe you want to lie on your back on your sofa. Or if you're happy sitting in the chair, maybe use this as an opportunity to kind of allow yourself to slouch a little bit, leaning back onto your seat for the first time in our practice today, maybe stretching the legs out. And you can have your hands resting on your laps, palm up, palm down, or you can even kind of just wrap your arms around yourself, or maybe even cover up with a little blanket or add a sweater so you feel nice and toasty and warm. And then once you've got yourself all set up for Shavasana, just softly closing the eyes and enjoying at least 5 to 10 breaths here. You're welcome to stay here for as long as you wish. Maybe just muting the sound on your television, and you can enjoy a nice long relaxation. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the practice, that you're feeling well in body, mind, and heart, and I hope to have the opportunity to practice with you again soon. Namaste.